You definitely want to get involved with this app, and you want to get involved with this app early. This is called Huma Finance. They've got a token coming out pretty soon. There's an airdrop campaign happening right now, and you can earn a decent yield on your USDC. Let's cover what it is. So quickly, I'm just going to go over very, very briefly what it is. Then I'll show you how to use a DApp. And then if you want more information, how much funding they've got, any risks involved, what the audit is, who the team is, I'll cover that at the end. Essentially, Huma Finance, they are the first PayFi network. And PayFi is a coined term 2024. Essentially, it's payment finance. So how this works is this is for business to business. It's not for me and you. We can provide money into Huma and we can get an airdrop and a yield, of course, but this is not for us to actually take a loan out. If you've got a company in the US, and the US buys t-shirts from India, they're reputable companies, they've been working together for quite some time, etc. They'll go and put an invoice, and let's say it's $50,000. The money will not be sent or paid until the goods are received, and normally it's like a net 30. They've got 30 days to pay it. So during this period, this Indian company is out of pocket 50 grand until this money comes to them. Of course, they're making profits once they've got it. And what they can do if they got that money instantly is, of course, they can do more marketing, or they can hire more people, or they can start getting more shirts out to other people. That's how they'd make more money and expand. So what this allows, with integration with Circle and other partners, is this Indian company can actually take out a loan, and they can pay a daily interest rate to Huma for that loan as a bridging loan. And then that invoice, once it's paid, the payment goes directly to Huma, and then that loan is paid off like that. So that's how that works. Let's go to the website. So the website is huma.finance. It's the first PayFi network. They're accelerating global payments with instant access to liquidity anywhere, anytime. And now they've got Huma 2.0. The initial Huma 1, all the liquidity pools were filled. This one is available for us to dive in. So come up to the top here, launch app, and Huma permissionless. That's where we want to go. Connect your wallet. I'm going to go with Solflare, my preferred favorite wallet, and we'll sign this message here. At this point, we've got a couple of options here. We've got deposit, portfolio, feathers, PST, and data room. So very, very quickly, we'll go over each point. So here we can see we've got deposit USDC, APR 10.5%. So currently it's 10.5%. It can go higher, it can go a little bit lower. It tends to range around 8 to 14%. You go and take your USDC, and if you want to, you can lock it up for as low as nothing. You can just lock it up there and you can start to earn some feathers. You earn 3.3 feathers per day, but the longer you lock it up, the more feathers you actually earn. These feathers will translate to some sort of airdrop with their token coming up soon, which I'll cover shortly. The maximum in terms of feathers that you can earn is 5x, and that would be with the yield. So we could go take $100, deposit in, we're earning 17 feathers a day. Go ahead and we'll deposit, and we're going to get a liquid token back called the PST token. And this token I'll cover a little bit later, but basically this allows us to sell if we want to sell early. If we do sell back to USDC, then we will not get any of the feathers. And the feathers, I think, is really what we're after. Now let's click on Maxi. In this, we don't get any APY. There's no yield whatsoever, 0%. But we go and put in some money, and we can lock it up for 6 months, 3 months, or no lockup. And then we're just getting Huma feathers. So I'm going to go and deposit this because I think that this is going to be a proper game changer. It's a market which needs to be disrupted, and they're disrupting it. These sort of things can take off really, really well. Unsure how the tokenomics is going to be. We're going to see that in the future with the LFG launch. So that's how we put everything into the app. Then if we click on portfolio, we can see how much we've deposited. So here we can see I've got all my different positions, some with lockup, and we can go ahead and we can switch these ones if we want to. We've got a switch mode. All we have is it's still a 6-month lockup, but we can switch it like this. Of course, if it's under the classic balance, we actually have PST in our wallet, and we can go and swap that in the liquidity pool. Now, in feathers, this is where you start to accumulate feathers. This is just a tutorial account. and the feathers have not started to be earned yet, but they will be there tomorrow, and then they'll grow and grow and grow. I will list my referral code below, so make sure you use my referral, help out the channel, and this is good alpha. This is a DApp that I'm actually very, very bullish on. It makes a whole lot of sense. You've got leaderboard here as well, so try and push me up the top of the leaderboard. That would be appreciated. Over here on the left, we've got PST. So at present, we can swap the PST in Jupiter for USDC at any time instantly. Go to Jupiter, have a look here, connect your wallet and half, and you can swap it. You're losing no money. Essentially, you're losing a very, very small amount. We've got $500 worth of PST and we're getting $499 back. In the future, this will also be integrated with Camino, where you can borrow USDC against it. You could loop it, you could farm it, you could maximize yield, similar to JLP. And then RateX is something that I'm not familiar with, but you'd be able to use it there. We've also got MPST. This is Maxi, but this is not available for DeFi composability at present. The next thing we've got down here is data room. So this is where we can see how many transactions have actually happened. And this is what's really, really epic, because the transaction volume is almost $4 billion and it has a high repetition of the capital being used. It's called capital efficiency. The total yield earned has been very sizable, and the current liquidity is 72 million and the liquidity available is 6.9 million. If we click on view June dashboard, this takes us to their June dashboard. Huma, you can see all the information I just showed. The origination volume and the payback volume, there is a difference there. Of course, it takes time to pay back the loans, the depositors, liquid assets, and whatnot. But this is fantastic to see. But the thing that I really like is the annualized revenue. Projected annualized revenues, currently $8.5 million. So if that's all the information you want to get started, go to huma.finance, put in my referral code, and get earning some feathers and get earning some yield. But if you want more information, including who the team is, what their fundraising has been, and other stuff like that, then stay tuned. So to get a good grasp of this, you could go to this blog post, which will be listed below. But this gives really the need for PayFi, why it has product market fit, and how many different layers there are and why it's difficult. It's difficult because of regulations, different countries. This is why USDC is used. And this is how it looks in cross-border payment financing, typically in the typical Web2 world. Now, the way that they've made this work is on blockchain, it's so much faster. It's so much faster. It's so much more affordable. You can send something all the way across the world in like a second and a half. It's brilliant. Then we can see they're using platforms like ARF, and they specialize in this. So they're using existing partners or existing teams to make this an easy reality, as opposed to trying to build everything from scratch. Now, it's never really fun to look through strategy memos and to work out different risks. But if you want to do so, you can do so. TLDR is there is, of course, risk. There's risk in typical situations with DeFi, there's smart contract risk, but you do have some risks in the PayFi strategy. A lot of these are what I would deem not real likely risks. It's just important to kind of know that these actually do exist. This next blog post, you can have a read if you like, the tech that powers a new financial paradigm. I think this could become basically a super app, an application that could fund millions of companies around the world for these kind of shorter loan periods, and also put through like $500 billion in a year in terms of volume or more. It could grow absolutely massively. Now, if you want to read a little bit more, it does get a little bit complex and there's a little bit of jargon in it for sure, but there are different layers in the PayFi stack. So you've got like compliance and currency, custody. It's not as simple as something like Jupiter, which is perfect example of product market fit for just swapping tokens. This has more elements as it needs to seek to work with Web2. Now let's have a look at Messari Pro. Huma Finance managed to do $46.3 million in 2 rounds with 15 investors. They started in 2023, and then they did a Series A in 2024. Who was on the team? You've got Erbil, who's a co-founder of PayFal. You've got Richard Liu, Dr. PayFi. There are others as well, but these are the 2 main ones. One thing I think is they're going to heavily target Asia, And that's a mammoth market right there. And with all these tariffs going around, there will be a little bit of liquidity crunch from time to time. And something like this could be exceptionally profitable. They also had Patrick Campos join Huma Finance's Chief Business Officer earlier this year. And this man has a background in corporate strategy, capital markets, and regulatory framework. So this is a good key hire. And the DApp itself has been audited by Halborn. Halborn's like one of the goated security companies. This was just completed last month. Now to end, within the next few months potentially, they will go ahead and if a vote passes, and I'm certain it's going to pass, they will be launching on LFG on Jupiter. LFG V2 to be exact. V1 didn't have a massive amount of success last year, but V2, I'm sure there'll be a whole lot more really, really cool things. And this vote, if passed, will basically allow holders to participate in capital formation on-chain with the killer Huma Finance team. So I think this is a very worthwhile thing to collect those feathers, get that airdrop, but provide liquidity, earn a yield, or just earn feathers. I think this is going to feel a part of the market, which could literally mean it's doing $500 billion in volume every year. Remember, the capital efficiency of the USDC in the actual pools means that they get repaid and then they get loaned out, repaid and then loaned out, and that continually brings in revenue. And this is something which so many companies need. So personally, I'm super excited. So use my referral link below. And by the way, subscribe and check out these 2 other videos right here.